Hi Taurus, this is Tisch Aitken, and this is your monthly report for the month of October. There's such a different energy to the month of October because four planets are stationing direct, which means this helps us, enables us all to move ahead and move forward in our goals, and we need that majorly right now. And in September, all the outer planets were retrograde, and at the end of the month, Mercury retrograded at 25 degrees of Libra, and that's the planet of communication and business and transportation, among other things. And so emphasizing even further all of the reassessment and redoing and reconsideration that September had for each of us. But it can feel very held back when there are several planets retrograde. Now in October, there's such a different shift because with four planets going direct, it feels like you can get it done. It gives hope and optimism to move forward. And as we begin October, there are three planets transiting in the cardinal air sign of Libra. The Sun, Mars, and Mercury are all transiting in your house of work and daily routine, as well as health and wellness. And there's a lot of focus for you on taking care of yourself. Maybe you're trying to get in shape. Maybe you're trying to streamline your work habits and be more productive and effective in your time management. Maybe you're cleaning your closets and getting organized. Whatever it is, it's really good to focus on getting things done. Excellent energy. And Mercury retrograded in this area of your chart. So it's really beckoning and inviting you to evaluate how you can be more productive in your routines. You are a creature of habit, so it's good to reassess this. So on October 1st, Neptune, which represents the dream and is a very creative planet, represents imagination, forms what's known as a quintile to the north node of fate, and that can bring magical encounters and opportunities. There's a combative tone to that day because at 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Mars opposes Chiron, the wounded healer. And for you, that could bring challenges at work. Maybe there's vulnerability in getting things done. Maybe you're feeling tired. Maybe you're dealing with health issues that you're trying to improve. And Mercury, which is the planet of communication, squares Pluto, the planet of death and rebirth, at 10:26 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that can bring power struggles at the workplace. It could bring changes. Maybe some people leave. Be careful of your words. The good use of that, again, is really diving into getting work done. It's great for research with Pluto aspects. And then on the 2nd of October, there are far more harmonious aspects. Venus, which is the planet of love and beauty and the ruler of your sign, forms a lovely sextile to Pluto, the planet of transformation and the ruler of the sign of Scorpio. And this occurs at 3:48 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And Venus is transiting in your house of partnerships and relationships. If you're single, this is an excellent opportunity for meeting people. This is good for getting things accomplished. This is good for up-leveling what you want to accomplish in your life, what you value. Really nice, very passionate and lustful energy. And then on October 3rd, the Sun opposes Chiron, the wounded healer, and that could bring more issues around work or around getting enough rest. Maybe you haven't been taking proper care of yourself. And then on October 6th, there is a new moon that takes place at 7:05 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 13 degrees and 25 minutes of the cardinal air sign of Libra. And this new moon takes place in your house of work and routine. excellent day for doing the law of abundance, setting intentions, doing rituals to bring in good fortune. And that can be any area of your life, but really focusing on your routines and how that will help you in achieving those goals. And on that same day, there is a major planetary station, because Pluto, which is the planet of death and renewal, stations direct at 10:17 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 24 degrees and 19 minutes of the cardinal Earth sign of Capricorn. And this is taking place in your house of hope and manifesting and learning and teaching and travel. And this is a really good opportunity for focusing on how you can transform how you feel that you can manifest. We've all been going through a difficult time. How do you transform? How you learn? How you seek optimism in a new time? And there will be major endings for all of us at that point, because even though it's a new moon, and a new moon is always a time of new beginnings, Pluto is the planet of death, metaphorically and literally, and it will indicate endings and letting go and shedding things that don't serve us any longer. And then on October 7th, Venus, which rules your sign, enters the mutable fire sign of Sagittarius, where it will be until November 5th. And this is a fun placement. It's in Sag. It's in your house of intimacy and debt and taxes. So it's in a lighthearted sign, but in an area of your chart that's not particularly lighthearted, but it helps you to perhaps repair those areas of your life and take a look at that. And it's good for intimacy, and it's good for having fun romantically too. And then on October 8th, the Sun and Mars meet up at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and they meet up in your house of work and routine, and that's really good for getting things done. It's a very hard-working energy. It can be combative, but if you're getting organized or doing work, you can get a lot accomplished with that. And on October 9th, the Sun meets up with Mercury at 12:18 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that's good for focusing on communication and writing and marketing. And then later at that in that day at 6:48 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Mercury meets up with Mars, and that can be more combative, but it also is good for getting things accomplished and getting things done. And then on October 10th, we have another major station. Saturn, which is the planet of goals and responsibility and karma, stations direct at 10:17 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and it stations at 6:56 degrees of the fixed air sign of Aquarius. And this is in your house of career and life goals. This is where Saturn and Jupiter met up on the winter solstice at the very first degree of Aquarius, and brought in and ushered in a new story for you on how you can structure your vision on what your goals are in the lifelong goals, long-term goals, and having major success in any endeavor, not just professionally, but if it's goals around relationships or family or real estate. And so this is an opportunity to look at that area of your life with Saturn now direct. It's going to be in this sector of your chart until March 7th of 2023. And it is an opportunity to really get things accomplished. It won't be, once it leaves, it won't re-enter for approximately 27 years. And Saturn rules the 10th house as it is the 10th sign of the zodiac. So really focus on what you want to get done this next couple of years. You have a while longer. You have a year and a half more, so to really work with this energy. And then on October 13th, Venus forms a helpful sextile to Saturn at 3:26 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that is good for structuring your goals with work and getting things accomplished. And then on October 15th, the Sun forms a beautiful trine to Jupiter, which is the luckiest planet, and this occurs at 7:48 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And this is a very optimistic energy and good for you professionally, good for you in many ways, and really good for manifesting what you want to accomplish. Jupiter is the grand benefic, and it's transiting in your house of life goals until December 29th of this year. So really focusing on your achievement this year. And then on, let's see here, on October 16th, Venus, which is the planet of love and beauty and the ruler of your sign, forms a beautiful trine to Chiron, the wounded healer, at 2:49 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that's a very healing energy around love and wounds and healing the wounds. We've all been going through a very tough time. There's been a lot of loss, a lot of depression, and that's a beautiful energy and a very romantic energy. And later in the day, Mercury forms a helpful sextile to Venus, and Mercury and Venus in harmony is excellent for having fun, for socializing, for romance and love, and for creativity and music too. And that occurs at 9:24 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and so that's really nice energy. You're the ruler of your sign, making nice aspects. On the following day, there's a lot happening, because on October 17th, the Sun squares Pluto at 8:12 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that can, bring power struggles, but it can also be very passionate. It can help you to empower yourself and shed layers and transform yourself. It doesn't have to be negative, but it can be intense. Definitely can be passionate. And then later that day, Jupiter, which is the grand benefic and the luckiest planet, stations direct at 22 degrees and 20 minutes of the fixed air sign of Aquarius. And we feel that energy 5 days before and 5 days after. And that occurs at 10:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and on October 18th at 1:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And Jupiter is how we expand and magnetize good fortune. So that is really good news to have Jupiter stationed direct. And then on the 18th of October, we have another station. Mercury, the planet of communication, stations direct at 11:17 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 10 degrees and 8 minutes of the cardinal air sign of Libra in your house of work. It will be here until November 6th. So now really helps you to get work done and get organized, and then more focus on your partnerships when Mercury enters that sector in November. And then on October 20, on October 20th, we have a full moon that takes place at 10:57 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 27 degrees and 26 minutes of the cardinal fire sign of Aries. And this full moon takes place in your house of endings and dreams and imagination. You will likely have very psychic and intuitive dreams. There may be things you're letting go of at that time. And think back to fall, because Mars retrograded at 28 degrees of Aries on September 9th, and it's stationed direct in November at 15 degrees of Aries. So this full moon is setting off that story of what you were working with then, and if you were letting go of things or having trouble moving ahead. And that won't be the theme anymore because we have so many planets moving ahead, and you are in one of the biggest career cycles of your life. So that's a good thing. And then on October 21st, Mars squares Pluto at 9:20 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and on October 22nd at 12:20 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that can be combative, definitely, but that can also help you to empower yourself and to find courage. And then on October 23rd, the sun enters the fixed water sign of Scorpio at 12:51 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time in your house of relationships. And it will be there until November 21st. And that's nice energy because now you've got the sun, and the sun shines wherever it transits, and it's in your house of relationships. Venus was there earlier in the fall, some more romantic opportunities, partnering opportunities of all kinds. And then on October 26th, Venus, which is the planet of relationships and money, squares Neptune in the sky at 9:06 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that can uncover deception, that can be confusing, it can be very creative, but it can also be emotional energy. And then on October 28th, Venus forms a helpful sextile to Saturn, and that helps to solidify things, and actually to Jupiter, and that's an expansive energy. And that happens at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And for you, that's really good for financial and professional opportunities. And those are the two benefics of the zodiac. So really nice energy. And then on October 30th, the day before Halloween, the sun squares Saturn at 5:53 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that can feel like a roadblock, that can feel challenging, like the glass is half empty, but it also is a reality check. And later in the day, Mars, which is the planet of action, enters the fixed water sign of Scorpio, where it will be until December 13th at 11:17 a.m. Eastern Day, no, pardon it, 10:21 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and it will be there until December 13th. And Mars will be transiting in your house of relationships, and that is where the action is. Mars takes approximately 2 years to transit, so now the focus is on relationships and partnering. And then on October 31st, we do have very nice energy on Halloween. Mercury forms a beautiful trine to Jupiter at 9:18 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and on November 1st, 12:18 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that is good energy for socializing, having fun, and being creative. And I wish you a lot of luck, Taurus. And we have 4 planets moving ahead, and that is helpful for all. So good luck and take care.